Welcome back to Anime Death Spiral. I'm Nate.
I'm Remy.
And we are the only anime podcast that listens when you think we're not listening.
We're on there. We're on the boards. We're on the posts. And we're in your closet.
We're always watching. And we have your best interests in mind, dear listener, dear friend, who we value so much.
Yeah, I'm really concerned. I've been going onto your computer and deleting the Konosuba episodes that you've been downloading. It's for your own good, okay? Just stop. It's not good for your brain, man.
All right. It is the last week of March. Remy, tell me what you've been reading recently.
I've been reading all kinds of anime this last week. You know, I read, let's see. I read some more Kiruru Kill Me. I read a series called Jugoku no Alice in Hell. That's some wild shit. I hope we didn't talk about that one before because that's so wild. That's about the semi-post-apocalyptic world.
Right.
It's about this sniper boy. It's really good. But I read. Look, this wasn't because of you. Okay, I started reading this before you told me that you watch Battle Royale, but I did read a new death game called Family Rivalry Killing Battle. Great name, really not a mouthful at all.
I think the best part is that it does not give away what the series is about at all.
No. Yeah, hey, look, this is basically like Lost. You think you know at the first episode, but you do not know. It goes places. But it just really reminded me how much I love death games. I love the format. I love the different angles they take.
Well, you once told me that death games were basically the found footage of manga and anime genres, right?
Sort of.
There's a million of them, and not all of them are great.
Oh no, most of them are bad.
But it is a love of yours.
Yes, it is one of my favorite horror subgenres, and I love the subgenres of the subgenres. The Family Rivalry Killing Battle is sort of the sub-genre of death game that's all about like a central mystery that needs to be unraveled. And the central mystery of Family Rivalry Killing Battle is it's fine, it's okay, it's satisfying enough. If you get into it eventually, you'll find out it's fairly similar to genre standard fare. It's a family wakes up and their town is mysteriously deserted except for a handful of other families in their neighborhood, and they all come together. And as is subgenre standard, a creepy mascot appears and starts assigning them various cutesy games to play, and the results turn out to be very fatal. If you fuck up a game like karaoke at some point, they play battle tops, things like that. They play ring toss to kick everything off. Very high intensity ring toss that ends up with grandma dying. That's you fucked up there.
Yeah.
You know what? When your hands get all sweaty like that, you can really fuck it up.
I mean, I assume that they have like one of those carnival shooting game, gallery shooting game versions of the death game, right? It's like a thing with the cork guns.
Sure, the cork gun, and of course, another staple of the death game. I would be loath to remiss is the old Russian roulette shows up quite a lot.
Classic.
I would say a lot of times it's a little bit misunderstood. There is Kakegurui is sort of falls on the debt version of the death game, the less lethal version, but in Kakegurui they do an incredibly elaborate version Russian roulette at one point. With the girl who is extremely horny for killing herself. That's fun. Go watch Kakegurui.
Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned the girl that's horny for killing herself, because that's going to come up again later when I talk about FLCL Progressive.
Hell yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Not an uncommon trope in the death game, the girl who's horny for killing herself.
No, I think there was one in Battle Royale for sure. I'm trying to think, what's your favorite style of death game? Do you like it when they get creative with the challenges? Or like, I don't know what the extreme end of the spectrum is, but like on one end you have Battle Royale, which is just like, hey, everybody go kill each other. No rules.
Yeah. PUBG.
And then on the other end, you have stuff where it's like, okay, there are special rules, a la Squid Game, which is a death game. Everybody loved Squid Game when that was on Netflix.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, I actually skipped that one.
Yeah, I didn't watch it
kind
either.
Kind of a big hole in my death game. Strange big hole in my death game knowledge. It's funny about Squid Game. As much as I know, it actually follows a pretty similar a pattern to Family Rivalry Killing Battle, which is like children's games made deadly. And that's fun. I mean, that's kind of okay. People like the juxtaposition of the cutesy shit and the murder. Very famously, As the Gods Will starts with a game of Dharma Fall Down, which is basically like, red light, green light.
Yeah, that was in one of the first chapter challenges that you gave me way back when. You gave me the first chapter of As the Gods Will.
As the Gods Will is fantastic. Well, so, the death games kind of boil down to a couple different versions. There is the death game that is about money, and those are very heavily like the gambling sub-genre, and there's a lot of those. Kaiji is a very famous example, and it's good. They made a live-action version of that at some point when we loop back around to live-action versions of anime. Like, we'll talk about Kaiji, because that's actually a really good one. And of course, stuff like Kakegurui, like I mentioned, and Liar Game is a very famous one. There's a few more. There's a couple famous ones. Usagoi, I think I'm pronouncing that right, is a very famous one. And those are obviously less violent usually, but no less high stakes, because the implication of the debt game is usually that they'll like turn your organs into meat or something, or they'll make you homeless.
Yeah, sell you for parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, sell you for parts, sell you to the Yakuza or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I imagine that the debt game sub-genre would favor more towards like the what do you call it? Specific challenge type of death game, where you have to do a specific task or perform an action, play a game of some kind, right? Win a game of poker.
Well, yeah, it's usually the twist in those tends to be like you take a very bog standard like betting game, like a poker, or something even more mundane like Kakegurui. They do one that's just the memory game, but then they up the stakes either in a couple different ways. Like in Kakegurui, the memory game, they bet on fingernails. Which is pretty intense. I mean, that's intense. And in Kaiji, they play rock, paper, scissors. But the spin in that, and this is a pretty common one, is that they complicate rock, paper, scissors to the point where it becomes like a total like mind game, like a mind fuck kind of thing, where they're playing rock, paper, scissors with playing cards that have the rocks, the papers, and the scissors on them, and it becomes a game of like gaming out people's cards outside of actually playing the game.
Wait, hold on. How do they play it with cards? Like, do they have to draw randomly from the deck?
No, you start off with a hand of cards, which starts off the game as a balanced hand of cards. And when you challenge somebody to a game, you both walk up, you place your card face down, and then you flip, right? And
right.
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Sure.
But as the game progresses, the metagame also progresses to the point where the game really becomes hoarding specific cards and trading cards out, and trying to corner teams that have a monopoly on certain cards. Because, like the big strategy is like, well, if you have every single rock on deck, like, you're golden, right? You've suddenly gained the point where you can win any hand.
Right.
Because you know what's going down. So it becomes a lot of mental games, and that is a huge aspect of the debt game. There's also, on the other extreme, the other kind of death game, obviously, is the Saw game.
Oh, the survival game.
Yeah, which becomes very creative ways to put people in torture devices, basically. And it's always like, much like in the later Saw movies, it's all about trying to get players to like give up their own individual morality.
Well, you've seen most of the Saw movies, right?
I've seen every single Saw movie.
Which do you think would be the best one to turn into an anime?
Well, I mean, the very famous one is once you get into the middle section, that's where you have players playing against each other. I mean, obviously 2 is when they're locked in the mansion and they all have to kind of quote unquote cooperate to make it out of the mansion.
Yeah.
But in the middle section, that's where you get like the pig slaughter game and the skin freezing game and the carousel game, which is a great death game, where the guy has to decide like when the carousel ends and all the people on the carousel are screaming at him, "Oh, I'm a single mom! You can't kill me! I'm a single mom!"
He doesn't give a fuck.
He agonizes a little bit, but he ends up killing his boss, which honestly, the American dream.
Yeah.
Dare I live out the American dream?
Well, I mean, so the first Saw movie isn't so much a death game, really, if you think about it, because all of the death game stuff we see in retrospect. It's all detectives, like, looking at the victims of the traps.
Yes.
So if we were adapting one, it would have to be, I would go with 2. I think that's the most straightforward.
2 is a fairly good one. I think of 1 as a very elaborate prank movie. It's Jackass, but, like, taken to the nth degree.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, like 3 or 4, I think would be good. They get less so as you go on, especially when you get to the surgery arc. But we don't have to get into this, the intricacies of Saw. I think things like Tomodachi Game kind of starts off as a debt game and transitions into a Saw game where players are killing each other. That one actually encompasses. I think Tomodachi Game is fantastic. Because it starts off as a debt game, and then it moves into a death game where players are like choosing each other and gaming it out mentally, and then it moves into a battle royale for a very large arc, and then it moves back into a death game, and then it moves into a survival struggle, which is an entirely other thing that doesn't come up very often, but that's more of like, players are left in the wilderness with only a certain amount of resources, and they have to try not to break mentally and start killing each other kind of death game, which is always fun. That's a good twist.
So it's kind of like a pan-genre traveler.
Yeah, it's really great. I really like Tomodachi Game. Hey, shout out Tomodachi Game if you're looking for like a real genre bender of a thriller. Like Tomodachi Game is like, mwah. It gets a little egregious with the fat titty shit later on, but you know what? Whatever. We don't have to do a disclaimer every time there's fat titty shit, right? Can we just make the assumption that it happens sometimes?
Yeah. Yes, I mean we have to. I've got a lot of stuff to say about fat titty shit, but that'll come up later, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is they kind of split down the middle here. Like, no matter what kind of killing or debt or whatever you get into, there's only really 2 reasons to hold a death game. And they really interesting. The absolute polarity of it is like, one version of a death game is some mysterious entity behind the scene is trying to get revenge, usually on classmates or bullies or their shitty boss or, something like that. And the thrust of those death games are usually like, there is no winner. You're all fucked. That's King's Game. King's Game 1 and 2. Those are very brutal.
By the way, I feel like I should clarify, that is a different thing than Ranking of Kings, correct?
That is a very different thing.
Dear listener, our friend, do not get those 2 things confused.
No, absolutely not. Do not sit down for a heartwarming time with your family or girlfriend and end up with King's Game. That will be a very bad time. But then on the other hand, you have stuff like Platinum End, which is by the Death Note author. I think it's what they did, the big thing they did right afterwards, where it's about very high-level mental play going on between people who have been assigned guardian angels, and they have to compete against each other using their guardian angel powers to become God. And you'd think that's like a very specific thing, but to become God is basically the point of half of all death games.
I mean, it's kind of the point of half of all manga. They fucking bring it up in Sono Biscuitdoll at one point.
Yeah, you're either killing a god or you're becoming a god. I mean, it's a rough deal either way. It doesn't seem fun. to become God or kill God.
It's kind of a hassle.
It's a huge hassle.
Actually, no. I've got this has legs for one of several light novel or possibly visual novel game. That time I became a god, but just wanted to hang around and do my own thing. That's the title.
That one time I became a god, but used my god powers to pick up high school girls.
too close to home.
Oh man. Oh,
there's too many out there that are already that exact premise.
Pretty much, yeah. But I always think that's very funny. There's also some where it's kind of the same. I feel like Gantz walks the line between like you're all fucked and you're gonna become God sometimes.
Gantz I've never been huge into the death game subgenre. It's never really kind of hit me in the right place to make me come back over and over again. I like Battle Royale.
Sure.
I thought it was a good movie.
Specific flavor.
Yeah. So from an outsider perspective, especially Gantz, it all just looks like misery porn to me.
Okay, so this is another big divide. There is the revenge and become God divide. There is also the just absolute grim misery porn, sort of like more humanity redemption mystery side. There is a big divide between those two things. I think, again, As the God's Will is kind of one of the best death games ever made because it does both of those things, and it does them fairly well. It never gets to the point where it is just abjectly torturing its characters, but it does get very, very grim. But it also spends a lot of time trying to reinvest in its characters to make, like, these are people fighting against losing their humanity, and they're showing that is a fight that is winnable, even in the face of insurmountable odds, as cheesy as that sounds. I like that kind of cheese. I'm a sucker for that kind of cheese. I love that shit.
I get it. I get why you love that, but to have it be a genre mainstay and have it keep happening again and again, like trying to hit that same emotional note in all of these different series, like that gets too much for me.
It can be intense. I cannot deny that. It can get really intense. Well, I don't even like Gantz very much. I used it as an example, but I do find that one to be particularly on the side of misery porn, especially because, like, this happens in a lot of anime, a lot of manga. I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't. Even stuff I like sometimes, but like the first few chapters of Gantz, like the same chick gets raped like 3 times. It's just like, come on, man. Like, God, it just fucking sucks. Gantz, get your shit together, man. Like, for real. It's not. I don't like that. I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either.
Not good. I think what's interesting is like death games becoming incorporated into other kinds of series. For example, there is a death game sitting right in the middle of Hunter x Hunter, which I find absolutely charming.
They just do a death game arc.
They just take a beat to do a death game arc right in the middle there. Jujutsu Kaisen is doing sort of a death game arc right now. So I think it's kind of cool when that just, I don't know, gets mixed into my other flavors. It's some peanut butter chocolate type shit.
Sure. Well, okay, so has One Piece done a death game arc?
Oh, One Piece must have done a death game arc.
They've been around for like 1,100 chapters at this point. Like, they must have done everything, you know.
There is so much One Piece that I'm actually having a hard time mentally going back through it. And picking out whether they've done a death game. Honestly, I think Luffy is too much of an anarchist to do a death game. He would his crew would always immediately rebel against the cute mascot, the little teddy bear or the children's doll or what have you. The guy in the mascot suit. Take your pick. I can't think of one, but they must have. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe that's the one subgenre that One Piece hasn't touched at this point.
It could be.
I mean, again, to my knowledge, there's just an entire arc of One Piece where it's just in Japan. They just stop being pirates and they're They're just in Japan for a while.
Well, the last arc was Fantasy Japan Island. They wear kimonos. They use samurai swords. Though Zoro was already using samurai swords, but whatever.
I think they should have stuck with that. I'm not a One Piece guy. I've never really gotten into it, but if they can do that, they should have just done like, okay, every island is a new genre now.
I am delighted to inform you that is already the case, my man.
All right,
that is already the case. You want Western One Piece? You got it. You want Little Mermaid One Piece? You got it. You want fucking horror One Piece? You got it. You want like cool revenge story One Piece? You got it. Jailbreak? You got it. You got anything you can ask for except apparently Death Game.
All right.
I'm open to be corrected there if somebody wants to shout out the Death Game arc. They kill God a couple times actually as well. Just not a Death Game, but they just do that.
Is it the same God that they kill twice, or do they kill different gods?
They kill different gods.
Okay.
A couple different gods.
All right, that makes more sense.
Sometimes it's a guy pretending to be God. Sometimes it's like a godlike figure. But they're killing gods left and right over here.
I think Record of Ragnarok has the monopoly on killing gods.
Well, you'd think that, but honestly, there's only been 6-7 fights so far, and the gods they haven't lost all of those.
The fight between humanity and the gods is currently tied 4-4.
One Piece probably still has the lead there.
Well, we'll see. One Piece doesn't have a whole lot of time left, from my understanding.
Well, they say that, but I mean, come on, like, when Oda says I'm wrapping it up, he probably means like within the next 6 or 7 years.
Before the feds come for him.
Before whatever is hiding in his closet just finally comes out. He's got to get it done before that. Though I think One Piece is like one of the mega banks. It's too big to fail at this point. So like the government would step in and like bail out One Piece. Okay, here, let's wrap it up. Let me just give you the rundown, okay? These
All
are
right, real quick, give us the rundown.
I love putting together these lists, and I love making recommendations, because obviously you don't know how to dress yourself, let alone fucking find anime and manga that's actually good. So check this shit out, my friends. You're going to want to check out King's Game 1 and 2. You're going to want to read As the Gods Will 1 and 2. Get on that shit. You're going to want to read Future Diary. Kind of trashy, but still get on that shit. You are going to want to get on Kaiji, at least the first arc on the boat, because that shit is good. You want to get on Tomodachi Game. That shit is good. Liar Game is okay, though the art is fucking strange sometimes. Danganronpa, that goes without saying. Everybody loves Danganronpa already. Platinum End, if you're jonesing for like more Death Note, and like the good Death Note, before L dies. Battle 5 Seconds After Meeting, if you want more of a shonen flavored Death Game. You're talking teenagers developing superpowers and getting into battles and shit. It's fun, and it has the Death Game flavor. Kakegurui, probably the horniest on this list, and I'm not saying that's a positive or negative, take it as you will, but also has that great Mappa anime on Netflix. And you know what? I hate to say it, bro, Kakegurui, purely animation-wise, is superior to like anything else Mappa's done. It is the best work they've ever put out. Not saying anything about the story, but pure animation, you're gonna want to check that shit out. And weirdly enough, even though I do not like the Fate series, there's a lot of bad Fate, like a metric shit ton of bad Fate out there. Fate Zero, pretty good, actually, like weird and good. Go forth, anime freaks, and enjoy Death Game.
All right.
Okay, let me catch my breath.
Let's take a break.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about anime. Are you fucking ready for some anime talk?
God, I'm so ready.
Holy shit. Nate's ready. I'm ready. Because we actually, like, weirdly enough, watched anime. Isn't that weird?
I didn't watch any anime. I read some anime, and I watched some manga.
Okay, you read some anime. which I'm very excited about because it means you finally learned how to read. Very excited about that.
It's true. It was a long and arduous process, but I finally know how to read text put together by 4chan scan teams.
Thank God. Literacy down. Books are up, baby. Continuing our endless series about horniness in anime, I just want to bring up that I watched anime, and unfortunately, I watched at the behest of a friend who is no longer a friend of mine.
We're not going to name names, but they're not welcome at the anime store anymore.
God, you know who you are, and you've done this to me. You must suffer the consequences. But this friend insisted, in fact, that I watch the first episode of Food Wars. You're familiar with this, right? It's a food shonen.
So I'm familiar with it about as far as that concept. I mean, food and cooking is a personal hobby of mine, but I'm confused exactly how horny can food get.
Well, I kind of assumed, because food shonen isn't exactly a new thing. There's other food shonen.
There was a food shonen on Fox Kids when I was a little anime nerd growing up. It was called Fighting Foodons. I don't know if that was the Japanese title, but that's what it was.
I'm unfamiliar with Fighting Foodons, though. That's a very funny name.
It's very fun. It was a fighting tournament anime about chefs that would when they cook stuff, it would come alive and turn into like a battle monster, basically.
Oh, dope! Hell yeah!
It was very fun.
That shrimp did fry that rice.
Basically, yeah.
See, I'm more familiar with stuff like Toriko, Food Hunter. Stuff like, speaking of Fate, there's that show that's weirdly enough just a spin-off where it's the Fate characters like buying ingredients for that night's dinner, which is like the kind of the slice of life kind of thing. There's a very funny parody of them in Helk, which somebody should finally read besides me.
And Trigger's coming out with that Dungeon Meshi show.
Yes, which, oh my God, it's going to be great. But Food Wars, I had kind of assumed, I had heard, there's horny food anime, whatever. And you kind of assume we're going back to like Matrix 2, right, where she eats the cake and it's like orgasmic, right? That's kind of what
the famous Matrix orgasm cake.
Yes, the Merovingian Hall of Famer.
You're such a fucking nerd.
Hall of Famer, weird French guy. So I assumed it was kind of like that. Like, okay, so, it's a kid and he makes really good food, right? It's good. Food's so good, it's like almost orgasmic. What I didn't realize is that it takes that as literally as you could possibly imagine. This kid in one episode makes like 3 separate people like literally cum their pants from like eating his fried rice. Like it is wild.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, dude, because you don't really do a whole lot of cooking on your own, but that's literally just the way it is.
Is that the end goal? Is that what Emerald was like driving towards?
Why do you think you keep saying bam?
What's the guy's name from the battle show? The guy who has the samurai sword. Yeah, the chairman.
Yeah, he's just called the chairman.
That's what that's what must be what he was talking about all that time, right?
Actually, hold on. If we could back up just very briefly, Master Chef, absolutely a death game.
Wow. Yeah, they slice him up at the end when you lose and turn you into the next meal. It's really fucked. Really fucked up. Soylent Green type shit.
Okay, so this kid makes like just the absolutely best fucking orgasmic food in the world.
Yes, and literally makes women come with his food, which is very strange because there's like a...
Again, not strange, listeners. Remy does not know what he's talking about, but that is literally just how it works.
It is totally normal that a 15-year-old would make a potato dish that makes a grown-ass woman rip her clothes off and like masturbate in front of him. That's totally normal, and in fact, it happens all the time. I do it sometimes, we've all done it. I had some really great dumplings the other day. I just stripped my fucking clothes off right in the store.
That's why you're not allowed to eat lunch at the anime store anymore.
They keep me away from spicy mayo for that exact reason. But it's like, what's weird is he, in the first episode, he cooks a food that is so bad. He puts peanut butter on a squid tentacle, and it's actually so bad that it causes a girl to get squid tentacle raped. seemingly metaphorically, but very literally in the show.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
That you took this to an uncomfortable place.
Look, I gotta keep it real, my man. This is some strange shit. So he has it on both ends. He makes food that is so good you come, and he makes food that is so bad
that you get sexually assaulted.
You get sexually assaulted by the food.
Oh no.
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is horny crimes. I'm gonna have to put Food Wars in jail for horny crimes. I'm sorry if you like this show, but you are a material witness to a horny crime, and you will be brought to trial.
You heard. We're coming for you, folks.
We're coming for you.
Watch out, horny criminals.
Yeah. But I mean, but this happens all the time. I mean, you watch something that is extremely horny too, right?
Well, nice segue there.
I mean, it's unavoidable.
Well, actually, it's funny. I was trying to find a way to connect it because, first of all, we're talking about horny. So obviously, the first thing that you think of, this is the horny show now. First thing you think of, it's like, who's the horniest out there? 14-year-old boys, right?
Easily Olympic level horny.
And when you think, when you try and put that into the context of anime, you get Fooly Cooly, which you've watched, I've watched a number of times.
Yeah, sleeper in the genre. To be honest.
I know. Totally unheard of, very underrated.
No, I mean, not
a lot of people talking about it.
I mean, sleeper in the horny Olympics because, at first blush, you wouldn't say oh, well, there's not a lot of fat titty in Fooly Cooly, but look again, my man, the themes are all horny.
Well, that's funny. It's very much it is the platonic ideal of horny versus the actuality of horny that we get in most anime, right?
Yes, most shows are only surface level horny. That's about all they can deal with. Fooly Cooly is horny on a textual, abstract layer of horniness.
And because of that, I would say that it's fair to assume that for me, and I'm sure a lot of other 14-year-old boys, the first time they watch Fooly Cooly, it resonates quite a bit with them. I think it actually, it probably captures the vibe of being a teen boy better than any other shonen that I've ever seen.
Oh, I would agree. I think it is incredibly successful when it comes to that. Yeah,
it's great. It's a very important series to me. I've watched it and I've pondered on it quite a bit over the years.
You've brooded on it.
Which, honestly, if you ask the creators, that's probably the last thing that they would have wanted you to do. Or that's what I thought until I watched the sequel series, which is, for those of you not in the know, Adult Swim, almost 20 years after its initial release, commissioned not one but two additional 6-episode seasons. Sequel seasons to Fooly Cooly, titled FLCL Progressive and Alternative, respectively.
Right.
So I just finished watching Progressive, which was the first one to air in America on Adult Swim in 2018.
Okay, what is it? Because I don't even know anything about it. I haven't even looked it up. So can you lay it out for me? I don't know anything about this.
So it is, it is a sequel to Fooly Cooly. Mm-hmm. Very much in every sense of the word. It is the story of Hidomi, who is a depressed loner middle schooler in Mabase Prefecture in Tokyo. Yeah.
Heavy chonin disease.
Exactly. The first episode opens up with her giving a monologue to the audience about how she doesn't have any idea in an existential sense of what she wants to be. She doesn't know, not even what career she wants to grow up to do. She doesn't know if she wants to be happy, if she wants to be an angry person. She doesn't know what kind of being she wants to be, which I think is, that was a strong start for me. That resonated a little bit.
Okay. Some existentialism right off the bat.
Yeah, but then it gets totally sidelined by just an assault of nostalgia, because the first image you see is you remember from the original series, on the top of the hill in the town, there's the giant building that looks like a clothes iron.
Yes,
right?
the very famous iron, yeah.
the medical mechanica building. And the first thing you see in Progressive is 8 of those coming at you, laid over the pillows. By the way, the pillows are back.
New pillows or old pillows?
Old pillows, 90s tracks.
So they didn't re-record stuff? Oh, that's kind of a shame.
No. Well, no, they did do a couple re-records. They did a re-record of Thank You, My Twilight, which is the version that plays over the first episode in the intro when she's giving her nihilism monologue. And you see all these giant medical mechanica clothes irons, essentially coming at her in a showdown style sense. I'm getting too into details, but essentially this is all ends up being a dream sequence where as she turns into a robot that looks reminiscent of Canty from the first series and fights all these giant irons, and then she wakes up in her bed and goes on about how much she hates being a middle schooler where in a town where nothing happens, Chunin disease.
Couldn't even be contained by the dream, spilled out into real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so from that point on, it ends up being more or less a I'm not going to say beat for beat, but very much a recreation in general tone and major story events of the original series. You have a kooky space lady that shows up and hits her with a vehicle, and then that makes a robot come out of her forehead.
Naturally.
Happens. And, what kind of tipped me off that maybe they were being pretty on the nose with it is that it happens in the exact same way and location as in the original series. Same bridge. It does the same thing where she gets hit by the vehicle and she's spinning around upside down and it goes black and white. It does the comic page thing.
Yeah. So not fucking around.
And so what it kind of turns into is into a retelling of Fooly Cooly in a modern setting, by the way. It's not made clear how much time has passed since the first series, but I'm assuming it's contemporary because everyone has smartphones.
Yeah, kids be on their phones.
Yeah, kids be on their phones for real.
Yeah.
She lives with her single mom. They work in a cafe. Her mom owns a cafe, and this mysterious space lady shows up, who is not Haruko, new character.
Oh no!
And shows up and says, "Watch out for Haruko." Basically, she says, "Watch out for the Vespa lady."
Oh no!
And what all this builds to is that it is a retelling of the first series from the perspective of the female lead character. The class president from Nauta's class. You remember that? Remember her?
Oh, wow. I think of the female lead as someone quite different. But yes, I do remember.
Well, okay, I would say the only female contemporary in Nauta's age in that series.
Yes. Yeah, I gotcha. Yes, I remember her.
It's basically the series told from that character type's perspective because there is, definitely a Nauta parallel in her class who serves as the male counterpart of the series, and he has 2 shitty friends like Nauta did, which also I was not a fan of. It got kind of weird because his 2 shitty friends in this series are one of them is half Latino and the other one is a chubby guy who cynically dresses in a non-binary fashion because he thinks it'll make him more non-threatening to women.
Huh? What?
Yeah. So he Ide is the male lead character's name in Progressive, and his friend Mori is a chubby dude who wears bright neon jumpers and a skirt. He wears a female uniform skirt.
Okay, sure.
And he explains in the first episode that he does it because he thinks that dressing in a modern, non-binary fashion will make him less threatening and more attractive to women.
So it's not because he likes it.
No, again, it is a cynical move on his part to try and make himself more approachable, I guess.
Okay, I mean, I guess I can kind of Okay.
It's
that's
not
a choice.
great. It was
That's
the
a
first
choice.
thing that really soured me, put an ick on my tongue for the series.
Okay, would you have preferred if he was the classic 90s best friend who was like constantly bringing porn mags into class?
Well, that was Nauta's best friend in the original series.
I know.
He was that guy to a T.
That's the 90s best friend. Now we've updated to this like weird queer baiting best friend.
Yeah, not a great look in my perspective.
Right.
And the other friend who is makes mention that he's half Latino, also not treated super great. In terms of being ethnically sensitive.
Oh, God. Please tell me they don't call him a food type.
No.
Okay, thank God.
No, they don't get into anything that bad.
Oh, man.
But
You really scared me.
his name is Marco, and he does exclaim in Spanish sometimes.
Okay, sure. That's fine.
Anyway, so the story is basically, what if Haruko harassed this girl instead of that guy.
Right.
And there was a lot of places that they could have gone with that would have been real interesting, but they really just stuck way too close to being like, hey, we're just doing Fooly Cooly again from a slightly different perspective. And they didn't go super deep into what that meant. And again, a big part of it is that obviously the original series is just always going to mean more to me because I watched it when I was a shitty teen boy. Like when you're supposed to.
Yeah, and you're completely incapable of developing empathy for women, obviously, because you're a man, and we all know that's impossible.
Yes, obviously. Well, no, I can develop empathy for women. The writers of the show did not.
You just choose not to.
Well, okay, you want to get into it because...
Well, okay, no, I am curious. Like, do you think they're playing with that? Do you think they're making that gender distinction and playing in an interesting way that maybe is not connecting with you because it's coming at it from that angle?
Well, okay, so we gotta get... This is hard to answer
This is
because
complex. This is a complex.
It's a very complex topic for a shitposting podcast.
I know. It's tough.
But basically, okay, so this new character, Jinru, I think her name was, who is she's like the good cop version of Haruko.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
She's like the polar opposite. She's very stern and collected and always is like trying to do like a cool one-liner instead of, the Haruko anarchy shtick.
Right. The winking thing. She's a space cop.
Yeah, basically.
Sure.
Well, okay, if we want to get broad terms, one of the things that really disappointed me about the series is that, like I was saying, it does not go super hard conceptually, and it spends way too much time like trying to go back and over explain all of the weird stuff from the original series about space cops and space pirates,
right,
and why Haruko's trying to get inside these kids' heads.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It goes way too hard on its own lore. It gets way too self-referential, and it's just...
Reboot disease.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just trying to do that. So you have this space cop and she's trying to track down Haruko to stop her from finding the space pirate king Atomsk, which was kind of like the background general structure of what the original Fooly Cooly was about, but I can't stress enough that that's not what mattered about that series.
Yeah, it's not really what it was about. It's the set dressing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this was all like, well, hey, how can we build up the set dressing while trying to hit that same tone for people that we did in the original? And they settled on just doing a more elaborate set dressing and just putting it over the same script, basically. And it felt like they were being tongue-in-cheek, on the nose about it at some points, but they never really brought that home in a meaningful way.
Right.
And this is all broad term stuff that I was just really not pleased with about the series. There was some stuff that I liked. I like some of those Pillows re-recordings. Some of those tracks are real nice.
Hell yeah.
I mentioned before, but I really like that new version of Thank You My Twilight, where it starts with like this little MIDI piano lick that's very cute.
Dope. I gotta listen to that at the very least.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
I like some of the animation that they did. That's another thing. It just did not have the same juice in the animation that the original series did.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a case of having not enough money this time or having too much money, but it did not have that same frantic, like, fever dream feel that the original series had.
I'll tell you what happened. All of those people left and made Trigger.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, straight up, that is what happened.
Well, I mean, to their credit, Progressive and Alternative were written, designed, and directed by the same director and art director from the original series.
Sure.
They brought them back, but they weren't working with the same team.
Yeah, not the same staff. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Does anybody tweet?
Okay. Nobody tweet. No, everybody's online.
They're online. Are they posting?
Oh yeah, they're posting.
Okay, well that's good.
They do that thing. They try and do like a modern take on that thing from the original series, where trying to think of like the bit. I think there was like a newscaster bit in the original series where in the background it's like you think it's just the news being read, and then it's slowly the dialogue gets like weirder and weirder, and then you realize that the newscaster has morphed into Haruko.
Yeah.
They try and do a modern take on that one where it's like people in a group text, and slowly all of the group text words get replaced by Fooly Cooly.
Okay, that's kind of funny. See, like, one of my things, I mean, putting aside the you can't just gender swap stuff, because the gender issues are very complex and they're not the same for a boy and girl, obviously. But I think one of the other aspects that I thought was strange when they announced
real quick, that's why I segued into this whole thing, is because this series was surprisingly anti-horny, especially compared to the first one.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. The only horny comes up is when Haruko is hitting on Ide to make the main girl jealous.
So is she, but she's not horny for him?
No, she's not. Well, that's an interesting, and I said we would get back to this one. She is horny for killing herself.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So she's like a hardcore nihilist, and she has like basically sex dreams about turning into a zombie and being devoured by other zombies.
Wow. Wow.
And so
like that show Sankaria, where the guy is all about fucking zombies.
Yeah. And so at one point, she sees Ide, the male protag, getting beat up by a robot, and it like super turns her on.
Wow. Cool.
and that escalates the robot fight in that episode, because as we all know, one of the established rules from the original series is that being horny summons a robot out of your forehead.
Right, and the more horny you are, the more powerful the robot is.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's
man, that's another thing. Sorry, they go real deep into the mechanics of the forehead teleporting.
Oh,
and it's real. They spend a lot of time on that, and I was real disappointed.
Yeah,
anyway, go ahead.
You don't really need that. I was gonna say there's like a couple things. The gender thing, obviously, the sexuality stuff doesn't work the same way. But not including the sexuality stuff is like a huge deviation from the first show, because the first show, like we said, is all about horny. I mean, that's the point of the show. Well, one of the main points of the show. The other thing,
to quote Buddha from Record of Ragnarok, the point of the first show is let me help you cope with your puberty.
Yeah. But the other thing I was very confused about or concerned about when I heard about it is that 90s, very pointedly, 90s teenage angst is not 2020 teenage angst. I mean, times have changed. I am not a teenager.
Well, kids be on their phones.
Yeah, kids be on their phones now. I mean, it's not the same kind of angst. There are different flavors to it, and I feel like you can't just reskin. You can't just copy paste because these kids are having a wildly different teenage years than we did.
That definitely shows through. Although I can't speak for Japanese teenagers.
You go ahead, try.
I will not, sir.
Okay, all right. Coward.
Well, it's funny you bring up the 90s thing because Adult Swim has commissioned 2 more 6-episode seasons of Fooly Cooly.
Right.
This time they're going to be subtitled Grunge and Shoegaze.
Oh, no.
Respectively.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you
So
this.
you may get some of that 90s angst you're talking about.
Well, it is nostalgia kill shot. Because,
Well, that's what I'm saying. The first episode of Progressive is all nostalgia. It hits you with all the beats and tries to make you like, hey, remember Fooly Cooly? And remember how somebody once on a forum said that we should do it from that girl's perspective? Well, we're doing that. Also, Haruko's back. I didn't make that clear, but Haruko and... spoilers, but Kanti at the end are the only 2 returning characters from the original series, which is one of the things that I did like about it. I liked that they tried to just say, no, we're doing, Haruko is the kind of the linchpin of the series. We can't get rid of her, but we're doing new characters, new setting, kinda, new time frame at least. And we're not going to reference, at least directly, any of the characters or stuff that happened in the original series.
Okay. Well, let me just hit you with a few questions here. Rapid fire, right? Okay, first of all...
All right, rapid fire, and let's take a break.
What's your favorite thing that they did?
Using that re-record of Thank You My Twilight as the opening track on the first episode. Dope. Because it, like I said, it starts with this cute little MIDI piano riff, and then it goes into the guitar and distortion and all that, and then they do this great transition when she wakes up from the dream, where the MIDI piano riff is the alarm on her phone waking her up.
Okay, that's cool. I've said it before about a bunch of other stuff, but I really feel like 50% of Fooly Cooly is the pillows. I mean, just like how Star Wars is just John Williams, Fooly Cooly is the pillows.
Or how Kingdom Hearts is just simple and clean.
Yeah, exactly. People really underestimate that stuff, but it's true. Okay, are you excited to watch any more of this shit, or are you dumping it?
No, I think that I am going to watch alternative.
Okay.
Because again, I hear they do I hear that this one is even more different and trying to do its own thing than the original series or Progressive. So I'm hoping that maybe they take some more risk with this one. I'll give it a shot. If I don't like the first episode of that, then I'll dump it.
Sure. That's completely fair. Okay, last one. Fooly Cooly era. What other show would you want to see made like a weird reboot like this?
I would like to see a high school romance comedy version of Yu Yu Hakusho a la Full Metal Panic Fumoffu.
Yeah, or that weird Evangelion spinoff.
They already did that, and it wasn't good.
I know.
I'm assuming that in this hypothetical, it would be a good series that I would want to watch.
Sure, we can give you that. Well, I was gonna say they brought back Tenchi, so that you're already covered there.
Yeah, but they did that bad, from what I heard. I heard that Tenchi in space.
The GXP thing, not good.
Yeah, I heard that was bad.
Oh, see, this is the curse. This is the fucking curse.
Anyway. You got another question?
No, that's it. Fooly Cooly, that's a weird thing that exists. Honestly, it fits into this strange trend we're going through right now where 20 years later, we're just rebooting weird shit. I just saw Scream 6, but we're not going to get into it. It's just a weird trend that we're in right now.
We're not really like a review or recommendation show, but
wait, what?
I will recommend the first episode after reviewing it.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's chill and reset. Whew. Last time we talked a little bit about stuff we are excited for this spring season, or at least I am. I think you are excited for some of it. At least Hell's Paradise, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've read the first handful of chapters, maybe like the first volume of the manga. Excited for the anime. Looking good. Like the trailer.
Oh, it looks fucking good, dude. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks fucking good. All right, but I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that maybe we are not excited for, maybe even dreading. Continuing our absolute fucking hate party, I want to talk a little bit about upcoming isekai.
Oh, that makes me want to get hit by a bus.
Yeah, this is the suicide fantasy genre. Speaking of being horny for killing yourself.
Okay, people don't talk about that enough, but like, can we just clarify that isekai is basically just like a death cult?
It is.
Isekai manga are a death cult.
Yeah, it basically is. It's like the I want to go to sleep forever kind of thing, you know? It's really fucked up, man. It's really fucked up. And we won't even get, I mean, we should really talk about how evil isekai is at some point. Sorry to judge you if you're into that
isekai
shit.
Enjoyers, are you all right? Do you feel okay?
Hit me up in the DMs, man. We can talk it out, okay? You don't want to go down that road. In the meantime, I wanted to just explore this through, and have a little bit of fun with it for once, because we don't need to get that grim with it. So I prepared a little bit of a watching guide, sort of. Yeah, it's a little bit of a watching guide, but it's also a little bit of a game, because I wanted to have fun with it, you know? So Nate, I've prepared a little bit of a game for you.
I'm so ready.
I want to establish the stakes here, because games aren't fun without stakes, right?
Is this a death game thing?
This is as close as to a death game as I can get. Because when you fail a question, you will have to watch the first episode of an isekai. Are you prepared?
Oh, no. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yes. All right. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, this is my trap.
What are we calling it? Are we going to call this bit Isekai Death Game?
Yeah, this is the Isekai Death Trap. The Isekai Death Spiral.
Isekai Death Spiral. Yeah.
We got there. I'm glad
we got it.
I did not tell Nate this beforehand, so he is learning in real time. He is going to have to watch Isekai unless he perfects this fucking game.
All right, I got to S-rank this game.
Yeah, you got to S-rank the game. Now let me explain it. All right. We're going to do 3 rounds. Each round, I'm going to read the title and short description of an upcoming isekai. Now, mixed into each round of 4 is 1 or more fake isekai that I have created.
Oh, no.
If you can guess the fake isekai or isekais, you will not have to watch an isekai from the set.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right. Do you understand the rules? I will be reading 4 and then a description of each, and then I'll have you guess isekai or isekais that are fake.
All right. Okay. All right.
All right.
I got the rules. I can do this.
Okay, put yourself in the right mental space. You're going to have to really get into the mind of an isekai.
All of my training has prepared me for this moment.
Yes. Let's just fucking go right in. All right. So the first block of 4. Here's number 1 in the isekai list. Number 1, the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. After a teenager dies while saving young girls from an attacker, he reincarnates into another world as the 3rd son of an aristocrat and is granted magical cheat-level powers from the gods to help him find love, win battles, and study at his otherworldly magic school. Sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah,
all right,
yeah.
Next one.
All right, number 2. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world, 2. A bullied boy named Yuya Tenjo gets a new lease on life after discovering a magic door that allows him to travel between his world, and a fantasy world where he has magical cheat skills, and he can bring whatever he wants back with him from the magical world to Earth. Sounds great. Sounds like a good deal.
Okay. All right. Sounds a little bit like solo leveling.
Sure. Ugh, don't get me started. All right, number 3. That time, my useless obsession became a cheat skill that saved my class in the other world. Loner horror otaku Iwakura Mitsumi spends his days wishing his bullies would end up getting killed in a horror movie. Suddenly finds his entire class has been transported to a world of endless horror movie tropes. Now he must use all his horror movie trivia knowledge and the courage he didn't know he had to save the very people who shunned him. Not bad.
Not bad. All right.
Hold on. One more.
Okay.
Number 4. Summoned to another world for a second time. After being teleported into a fantasy world, a dude gets teleported back into the real world where he starts over as a baby and uses his powers to save it from doom and becomes a normie yet again.
All right.
That's first
All right,
block.
tough.
We've got 4 really
Tough
great
lineup.
contenders. I know. I mean, this is tough. I understand. You're going to have to choose which isekai or isekais are the fakes.
Wait, hold on. There are multiple wrong answers?
There could be or there could not be. I'm not saying which. All right.
God damn it, dude.
I'm just gonna go down the list and you're gonna tell me yes or no, right? Fake or not fake? Ready?
Okay.
The Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure: Serving Gods Who Go Too Far. Fake or not fake?
Not fake.
Ding, ding, ding. I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world, 2. Fake or not fake?
Fake.
Yeah, that's real.
No!
Oh, no. Okay, number 3. That time my useless obsession became a cheat skill that saved my class in the other world. Fake or not fake?
Not fake.
That's fake. Oh, no.
God damn. No!
Oh, I got you. Okay, number 4. Summoned to another world for a second time. Fake or not fake?
Not fake.
Not fake. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. But you will have to watch the first episode of I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World and Became Unrivaled in the Real World, 2. Oh, no. Ding, ding, ding.
Damn it. Okay.
All right.
I swear that one was the fake one because you usually suck at writing names. And the name in that one sounded fake.
Yuya Tenjo?
Yeah.
It does not sound good. I'll give you that. Now, you have to remember, I don't want to give you hints, but, like, they do try to come up with really stupid names sometimes on purpose for isekai. So just keep that in mind. Moving forward. I don't know why. It's just a stupid thing they do.
All right. Okay, that's one episode on my roster. You got me.
You're 2 for 4 here. You're 2 for 4. All right, moving on.
At least nothing bad happens if I get the fake one wrong.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That still counts.
I shouldn't have told on myself.
Still counts as a wrong answer, my dude. All right, let's do block number 2. Ready?
Okay. All right.
All right. Number 1. In another world with my smartphone. After a freak accident involving some lightning, 15-year-old Mochizuki Toya wakes up to find himself face to face with God. I am afraid to say that I have made a bit of a blunder, laments the old coot. God says that he can reincarnate Toya into the world of fantasy, and as a bonus, he gets to bring his smartphone. So begins Toya's adventure in a medieval world.
Okay, but don't they all get to bring their smartphone with them? Isn't that like a thing?
Not if it got knocked out of their hand when the bus hit them. All right, number 2.
Okay, number 2.
Young age destiny, that time I broke the curse and won back the future. An aimless young man with an older woman complex dies after choking alone in his apartment, but wakes up in a fantasy world where magical girls are cursed to die at the age of 16. He has to use his newfound powers.
Man, I told you to stay out of my diary.
He has to use his newfound powers to break the aging curse and save the girls' futures from their terrible fate. Whew.
Okay.
All right. Number 3. Kamikatsu, working for God in a godless world. After being sacrificed, Yukito, the son of a cult leader, is reincarnated into a fantasy world where religion doesn't exist and porn books are akin to a child's doodles. He attempts to create a new god to stop the government's arbitrary death sentences. And, number 4. Kuma bear punch, ! An otaku girl shut-in downloads an update to her favorite fantasy RPG, only to find herself sucked into the game world for real. She is gifted an OP bear suit from an MMO video game developer that she uses to cheat in the virtual world she has been teleported to. Whew, all right. That is 4 isekai. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you locking in?
Yeah.
Are you locking in?
I think so.
All right.
All right, hit me.
Number 1, in another world with my smartphone. Fake or not fake?
Not fake.
Ding, ding, ding. Number 2.
I've heard of that one, so.
Damn it. Okay, young age destiny. That time I broke the curse and won back the future. Fake or not fake?
Fake.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. You got it.
Yes.
Damn it. What gave it away?
That one was too verbose.
Damn it. Oh, I'll remember that for the future. All right. Number 3. Kamikatsu : working for God in a godless world. Fake or not fake?
Not fake.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, you're doing good
Yes!
this time. You're doing good this time. All right. Kuma.
My power level is growing.
Kuma, bear punch. Fake or not fake?
Not fake.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. You swept
I
it.
got him.
You swept
I got them all.
You got them all. All right. 6 for 8. Are you ready? This is the final round.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
All right. I hope this one's a little harder for you.
Okay.
Number 1. My one-hit kill sister. As a result of an accident in the real world, a high schooler named Asahi and his older sister with a brother complex are teleported into another world where he discovers that he has the weakest abilities and his sister has overpowered stats and cheat skills.
I'm not commenting on that yet, but I want it to be fake.
Okay, number 2. Writing the most powerful song in the fantasy world, how the bard fights to save the kingdom. Ryozo is a struggling musician who is on the verge of giving up his dream of becoming famous. When his band quits on him before a gig, an accident backstage sends him to a fantasy land besieged by a dark lord who has stripped the people of art and culture. Can the young musician use his magical bard skills to help the hero's party put an end to the Dark Lord's tyranny? Whew. Number 2. The reason why Relina ended up at the Duke's mansion. When Park Yuna dies in modern-day Korea, she awakens in the body of Relina Macmillan, the eldest daughter of a nouveau riche baron. However, this is no ordinary family, It's the exact same one as a novel she has once read. Beloved by her family, it would seem as though she is in a fairy tale, but Relina is far from the main character. In fact, she is a mere plot device whose murder at the hands of her fiancé instigates the entire story. All right, number 4.
All right, I'm loving this. All right, I think I got all these.
Yeah.
All right, give me the last
Monster, but wild. Azure is a popular online game that has been active for years, running. I'm a veteran who is been playing since launch, and I got a huge prize! ! After opening the gift, ... I was transmigrated into the game as the weakest little monster! ! All right, are you locking in?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Number 1.
Okay.
My one-hit kill sister.
Not fake.
Not fake. Ding, ding, ding. It's real.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew that was real because you mentioned older brother complex, and only the real stuff gets that gross.
I would never write that. You don't think I'd go that far?
No, I don't think you'd go that far.
Okay. Another thing I have to make a note for. All right.
What, are you going to start changing the descriptions of the real shows? What are you talking about?
No, when I write fake ones, I'm going to make them more realistic. I'm learning and adapting.
Okay,
all right. Number 2, writing the most powerful song in the fantasy world, how the bard fights to save the kingdom. Fake or not fake?
Fake.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
What gave it away?
Well, to be fair, you're a huge music nerd, and we were talking about all those music anime a while ago.
Yeah.
And you were reading those little baby young adult books about the bard, Name of the Wind or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, that was years ago. Fine. All right, you got me there.
I know your tells.
You got me there. Yep, I know. All right.
I got you clocked now.
Number 3. I know, this is getting easier for you. That's bad. Number 3. The reason why Relina ended up at the Duke's mansion. Fake or not fake?
I'm going to say not fake because you read manhwa and I don't, so I'm just assuming.
Ding. You got it. That one is not fake.
Yeah.
I thought the Korea one might throw you off a little bit because that's really extra, you know? to kind of mix it up.
It's a good strategy. It almost got me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All
right, last one.
Final one. Monster, but wild. Fake or not fake?
Fake.
Oh, it's not fake. Oh, no. Oh, so close.
Okay. Damn.
Oh, you got 9 out of 12.
Right.
9 out of 12.
9 out of 12.
All right. So here's the deal. You have to watch the first episode of I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World and Became Unrivaled in the Real World, 2. You will be watching episode 1 of that and reporting back.
I'm so glad to be doing that instead of interacting with my friends or family.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't watch it with anybody else, but you'll probably be too embarrassed to do so. So you're gonna be sitting in the dark by yourself. Okay. And because you got a fake one wrong, that's a wild card. I will allow you to pick any of the other ones.
All right, let's see what we got here. I will check out the first episode of Kuma 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 Bear Punch. That actually sounded kind of just a slightly more interesting concept than the rest.
You could say it. You like that one. All right. And finally, you got the last one wrong.
Okay, so I have to watch
You will have to watch the first episode of Monster But Wild.
Damn.
Yeah, so 2 of them where they go into RPGs. Interesting.
All right. This is going to be not a great time for me, I don't think, but I'll do it. I'll abide by the rules of the game because I'm assuming that the collar that you put on me explodes if I don't, right?
Absolutely. You will play my games or face death.
That's my big flaw. I'm too trusting. I really shouldn't have put on that obviously explosive-looking bomb collar that you gave me.
I know. Just because it looked like a cute choker. What a sucker.
Well, I mean, it looked like a cute choker, but it just had a piece of firecracker. It had a tiny firecracker taped to it.
Just enough to get you. Just enough. Whew, boy. Well, I'm disappointed that I didn't get you for more. Obviously, I need to write lamer sounding isekai when I do it again.
Yeah, you need to get into the mindset, dude. I know your tells. You need to get it more mainstream in there.
Yeah,
the music thing really gave you away.
It's true. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more Mad Lib with it. I'm gonna keep that in mind next time I write these things. Hopefully soon. I can't wait to hear your reporting back on how extremely dark and perverted each one of these shows are, and how incredibly grim and sad it is. I'm very excited.
So we'll do a recap next time we do this bit and see how it goes from there.
Yeah,
I bet I can S rank it next time.
Okay, well, hey, you bring it, I'm gonna bring it too. I'm gonna make it way harder next time. You better prepare yourself.
I'm gonna come at you with all that I have.
Yeah, that's right. God damn it. And hey, best friend, it was great having you sitting on the couch chatting anime. This was really great. And you know what? If you wanna watch those shitty anime isekai and kind of join us in the suffering, feel free. I think it would be fun. A little bit of interactivity with the show. Isn't that great? That's like engagement points right there.
Oh, we love engagement, people.
God, I love engagement. I'm addicted to engagement.
If you want to help with our addictions, check us out on places that you find podcasts and other such things.
Yeah, definitely do all that kind of thing. I know you will, best friend, because you're very supportive of us. I'm so glad you hung out on the couch with us. Thanks for listening, guys. You know what? We talked about anime this time. That's a pretty big achievement for us.
Yeah, it doesn't happen every time.
I know. Do you think maybe we'll talk about an anime next time?
I think that there's a high likelihood of some anime talk happening.
I do too, because that Hell's Paradise is going to be on April 1st, and I'm probably not going to skip that. I'm very excited.
Wait, no fooling?
Yeah, that's April 1st.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Hell yeah. So look forward to that. Right. By the next time you hear us, we will have watched an anime.
All right. Until next time, dear listener.
Bye. I'm not going to stop you if you would like to put in effort. I'm definitely not going to stop you.